Hey, how's it going, everybody? What's up? This is Tweak here, back again with another tier list video. Today we're going to be going over all of the maps in Tarkov and rating them from S tier to F tier. So lads, if you guys disagree with my choices, let me know in the comments down below. You certainly did on the gun tier list video. Thanks for that. Actually got a lot of abuse over that, but that's fine. It's all a bit of banter at the end of the day. So lads, if you guys end up enjoying this video, please remember, give it a like, give it a comment, share it with a friend, all that kind of stuff. We're trying to hit 100k subs by the end of the year. That would be very cool. So without any further ado, let's get into it. So we've got customs, factory, interchange, labs, lighthouse, reserve, shoreline, and woods. So let's get started with customs. I feel like customs has to go in the S tier. Just out of respect, customs is one of the best maps that BSG has ever made. It is one of the maps that a lot of quests take place on. It's a map where you can run into the rogue bosses. You've also got Reshala. You've also got Marked Room. You've also got a ton of safes. You've got a ton of caches. You've got tons of loose loot everywhere. And the PvP on customs, it always ends up being pretty good. Whether you're fighting in dorms, whether you're fighting at Fortress, whether you're fighting at Crack House, there's always something cool happening on customs. It is probably the best map to play in the early game as far as farming jackets for keys, and for PvP, and for Scab Boss. Like, if you can kill Scab Boss in the early game, you're going to get a lot of really nice gear that you can use for probably, you know, the rest of your entire day. And then there's also, like, tons of hidden caches. There's computers. There's all the jackets. There's the ammo boxes, weapon crates. There's so much stuff on customs. And it's one of the most, like, perfectly balanced maps in EFT. The only thing that customs doesn't have is like a lot of loose key spawns that are actually, you know, like expensive. Like, for example, in Shoreline, you know, there's a couple of loose key spawns that you can pick up in the early game that'd be worth a ton of money. Customs doesn't really have that. It only really has like the factory key spawn, but it also kind of makes up for that with like the giving tree and the table in the gas station, and then the shelf in that warehouse on the factory side that can pretty much have like damn near any loot in the game on it. So for me, customs always going to be S tier. The PvP is always kind of diverse. It doesn't always take place in one spot on the map, and this map will always have a special place in my heart, even though I hate deliveries from the past, which you have to get from customs. And I also hate the you know, the bronze pocket watch quest, because, you know, who doesn't? So customs for me, always going to be in the S tier. So let's move on to factory. Factory is a weird one for me, because if this was like, I don't know, 4 years ago, factory would be S tier. But factory for me right now is honestly going to go down into the C tier. And I'm going to explain my reasoning for this. And the only reason factory isn't lower than C tier, like, you know, D or E tier, is because Tagilla can spawn on factory. You can also get cultists that can spawn on factory as well if you do a lot of nighttime raids, which can be really good loot and really good money, really good gear. But for me, factory these days is just a bunch of naked dudes with pistols, naked dudes with shotguns, naked dudes with Mosins. And it's very rare that you actually run into like really geared people on factory. And it's just, I don't know, it's just not what it used to be. Factory used to be one of the best PvP maps in the game, where you would run into people running forts and they'd have like the best in slot AKUs and stuff like that. And that's where it would be S tier for me, because the PvP was always really fun. But these days, factory, I mean, the loot is good, but when you're on your PMC runner, you're really going to be looting that much. If you're going to factory, you're probably just trying to fix the control boards, or you're trying to grab the chemical for skier, or you're trying to plant the gunpowders for therapist. Yeah, for me, factory's kind of fallen off over the years. It would be higher if maybe cultist spawn chances were higher, or Tagilla spawn chance was higher. It just, for me, factory is a C tier. Honestly though, S tier scav map. S tier scav map. If you can do a scav run on factory and not be killed and run around and loot all the weapon crates and stuff, very good scav map. Very underrated scav map in my opinion. So now, interchange. This is going to be a controversial pick, I feel like, for some people. I hate doing this. I really hate doing this. But I'm going to put interchange in the D tier. Interchange needs love in a very big way. Interchange needs so much love. The lighting needs to be fixed, and the audio needs some serious work for interchange. Now, I'm not saying the loot is bad. I'm not saying you can't come out of here with a lot of money. But for me, the lighting and the audio on interchange makes this map feel like hell to play. It's just nowhere near as fun as it used to be. The fog, thank you, Mito, is absolutely terrible. The PvP on Interchange is just different. I don't know what it is or what happened to this map, but the way people play it has changed so much over the years, and I think it's just because of the lighting. And people just like to hide and camp in dark corners, and the PvP just isn't really that fun anymore in Interchange. Like, is the loot good? Yes, you've got all the tech stores. Are the quest item spawns great? Yeah. Are the hideout item spawns great? Yeah, they are. Of course they are. They're fantastic. You've got Kiba. Kiba, to be fair, everybody says it sucks. But like, as soon as you finish Gunsmith, you can get a Kiba key for like less than 200k. That is absolutely worth it, because Kiba actually has decent loot in it. You also have Killa spawning there, but you know, he's really, really rare. He's really, really hard to find. And it's just a pain in the ass to hunt him down. The lighting needs to be fixed, and the audio needs to be fixed, and some other things just need to be changed about this map to make it a fun map again. But for me these days, Interchange just really isn't that fun. I want to put Interchange in S tier. I want Interchange to be S tier. It's one of my favorite maps in Tarkov. I love this map, but I just don't play it anymore, because every time I think I have to go to Interchange, it's just like, oh, for God's sake, I don't want to go. You know what I mean? I just don't want to go. It's just, it needs love. I want this year, more than anything else, I want to see some kind of big rework to Interchange. I would love to see it. This is like my dream. I just want this map to come back to where it was before. I'm actually going to put labs in, like, I'm going to put it in the B tier. Now, I'm going to explain my choices on this. So, for the last couple of wipes, I don't really play labs at all. But this wipe in particular, I've actually been playing a lot of labs. And I've actually been having a lot of fun with it. And I haven't been running into that many cheaters. Now, there are times, and there's stipulations to this. Lads, don't play labs on the weekend, okay? Playing labs on the weekend is a bad idea. Labs is actually a lot of fun, and the loot there is really good too. Now, the reason why it's in B tier and not A tier or S tier, it's pretty much just because of the cheaters. It's also because the double hit bug with the raiders still exists, where they'll fire one bullet that'll hit your chest, but it'll count as two, and if they're shooting BP at you, you will be instantly killed. So it's something to do with the raider AI, and it's also something to do with the amount of cheaters on this map. But if you were able to play labs for a day and get good, honest PvP, and you were able to, you know, do your looting and kill raiders without the double BP bug just insta-killing you sometimes, I'd probably put labs in S tier. But for me, it drops down to the B tier. Loot's great. You can make a ton of money off it. But the rampant cheaters and the bugs with the raiders just, yeah, it makes me kind of sad. Put it in B tier. As far as the rooms are concerned, blue keycard room, from what I know, sucks. Red keycard room really isn't that good. Black keycard is goated, so is green keycard. And yellow keycard is apparently really, really good this wipe because it has LEDX spawns and stuff in it. They like rework the room. The colored cards, if you can get a couple of the good ones, probably pushes the map up on the tier list a little bit. Also, violet's actually good these days as well. Yeah, for me, labs goes in the B tier. That's my reasoning for it. I think Lighthouse has to go in A tier, to be honest with you. Lighthouse is a fantastic map. It's really, really good. The only thing I dislike about Lighthouse is there's a lot of suppressed long-range shooting, and it's often very, very hard to tell where people are actually shooting at you from because the map is so big. But the Lighthouse expansion's really, really cool. The loot over there is fantastic. The only thing that sucks about it is if people see you're over there, they will camp the bridge and they will stay there until the end of time. Fighting the rogues in the water treatment plant is pretty fun. They've also got pretty decent loot, but they're also kind of bullshit AI. Sometimes they'll just, you know, one tap you. Yeah, the FPS, somebody just mentioned in my chat there, not great. I still think it's a really cool map, and I think it's quite fun to play. As far as like profitability on Lighthouse, you can make a shit ton of money on Lighthouse, which is really nice. Yeah, it's a good map. It's definitely a good map for squad play. Squad play with lots of communication. Lighthouse, very, very good map for that. I know I'm going to get shit for this, but I'm putting Reserve in the C tier along with Factory, and I've got reasons for this. Okay, I've got reasons for this. All everybody does on Reserve is run straight down into the underground, hit the switch. If there's raiders there, they fight them. If there isn't raiders there, they leave. And that's where like 99% of the PvP takes place on Reserve. It's all underground. And you know what? Actually, I'm gonna put Reserve in D tier. Sorry, I'm putting it down here. Do you know what? I'm gonna even put it lower. I'm gonna put it in E tier. I don't even care. I'm putting it lower than Interchange, because for me, Reserve is just like the opposite of fun, because there is very little diversity to the PvP. All it is fighting underground and then getting camped in D2. The only other player on the map then is going to be the guy sitting up on dome with a sniper trying to do shooter born in heaven. And that's it. Is the loot good on reserve? Yes, it is. But is the gameplay loop on reserve any good? I don't think so, to be honest with you. I really don't. Finding Gluckar is a pain in the ass on this map if you need the quest done. And fighting him in some positions can be a massive pain in the ass too. There's also a lot of cheaters on reserve. Don't even try and play nighttime reserve. Just don't do it. There are cheaters everywhere on nighttime reserve. Yes, you can make money from playing this map, but as far as the PvP is concerned, it is just so mind-numbingly the same every raid. I know there's some people out there, reserve, S tier, best map in the game. And I get it. You're going around, you're looting everything, you're making a shitload of money. Like, good for you. But reserve was better before they added the underground expansion. So, sorry, reserve, but you go in the E tier. You're in need of some love. Something needs to change about you. Shoreline, S tier, baby! Best map in the game! Dude, I absolutely love Shoreline. One of the best maps in Tarkov for making money. Easily one of the best maps for PvP. And now it even has rogue boss spawns on the at the weather station, which is absolutely awesome. So Shoreline, for many, many reasons, is very good. You can get red key cards. You can get blue key cards. You can also get lead axes. You can get ophthalmoscopes. You can get defibrillators. You can get tons of meds. You can do like 2 Shoreline raids and be good on meds for like 2 or 3 days. Like, the amount of meds that you can get from Shoreline is insane. You could just bring an injector's case. Fill it up. If you came in with an empty injector's case, you're coming out with a full one. You've also got an absolute metric shit ton of duffel bag spawns. The duffel bags, even if you don't have any keys and you know where all the duffel bags are, you can come out of Shoreline with an absolute fortune just ratting through the reserve, or ratting through the resort rather, and grabbing all of the duffel bags. Shoreline also has a really, really good spawn for cultists. You can get cultists at the west wing. You can get cultists at the east wing. You can get them at Spine. You can get them in another spot as well over near the path to Shoreline or path to Lighthouse Extract. I never really see them there. I mostly see them at the resort, but fighting the cultists at the resort is a lot of fun. You've also got Sani there as well, which, you know, Sani, it's not really great loot, but in the early game, if you get the key card, that can save you a couple 100k. You get all the keys, you get the resort for yourself for one raid, you're easily making over $1 mil. And just the flow of the map just feels good. The resort PvP is super, super, super fun. And I fucking love it, man. I love Shoreline. It's still one of my favorite maps in EFT by far. Interchange would be up here in S tier with Shoreline if the lighting and the audio was good. Also, nighttime cash runs on Shoreline, probably one of the best money makers in the game. I wouldn't recommend scavving on Shoreline because the extracts are often so far away. Yeah, that's probably the only downfall to it. It's not great for scavving, in my opinion. I am doing this not because I want to put it in S tier, but I think it should be in S tier. And I have some reasons why. So for me, I'm not going to put my own personal kind of bias on Woods here, okay? Because I feel like it's unjust because I don't know how to play the map correctly to make all the money that people do on it. Woods, for a lot of people, is the best money-making map in the game. If you know how to play Woods, you will never need to play any other map to do money runs. You've also got Sturman. You've also got the new rogue bosses as well that spawn. The PvP on Woods oftentimes is actually pretty good from when I've played it. It might not be my favorite map, but I've had so many people tell me that Woods is their absolute go-to, 100% their favorite best map for making money in the game. And I just feel like just because of that, I should put it in S tier. I need to learn everything about Woods at some point because I just don't give it the time of day. I just don't really like playing it all that much. But I can understand why people like it. You've got violet keycard spawns. You've got Sturman. You've got Sturman's box. You have the little housing estate that has all the kind of screwed up houses in it that have tons of loot in them. You've got all the caches. You've got a bunch of spots for quests. You've got all of the loot in the sawmill. You've got the 3 little residential huts. You've got the foreman's office. You've got the truck that has the 2 jackets in it. All of the buildings that have the like weapon crates and loose item spawns and stuff in them. You've got the mark circles. You've also got cultist spawns at one of the highest rates in the game. You've got attachment shack that often spawns scopes and high tier suppressors and stuff like that. Just loot out the ass. You will probably make more money consistently playing Woods than probably any other map on the game. Now, not even to mention if you do it at nighttime and you've got the chance at running into cultists or just fewer players in general, loot is probably the freest it can be in the game. And that's why I'm putting woods in S tier. Here we have it. In the S tier, guys, we've got Shoreline, Customs, and Woods. A tier, we've got Lighthouse. B tier, we've got Labs. Factory in the C tier. Interchange in the D tier. And Reserve in the E tier. Those are my choices, and I'm sticking with them. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of disagreements on this one, but guys, that has been my tier list for maps in Tarkov. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, please make sure to leave a like, leave a comment, hit the old subscribe button, share it with a friend. And guys, hopefully you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out, my dudes.